What's up, friends, here at IR Info Entertainment Reviews? So, I wanted to talk about a little bit something different coming from my personal experience. I'm a big fan. I love my p71 Interceptors. They're my favorite cars. It's like my dream car versus having a Lamborghini Diablo. That's my next dream car. Now, I did end up with my p71. This is her right here. I did all the window tint. All that work was done myself. I did my custom lights. The lights were custom. Those were done also by me. The detailing, I did a lot of work to her. She had dual spotlights. This was a full bred pure P71 Interceptor. This here was a 2005. I put the wheel caps on it. There was a lot of work I did to her, but there was a problem in 2005, and also, believe it or not, a lot of people didn't know either. 2005, they even had the heavier duty frame. This car had a thick frame. Let me tell you, it was ridiculous and too fast for its own good. I have to say that it had right under 300,000 miles. You can see the engine. Let's zoom in more, you guys. I want to zoom in for you. A lot of I had to do the detailing work myself, so a lot of the work you see underneath the hood, I didn't get the finish underneath the hood. You can see it was still dirty underneath there, still filthy. I was just doing baby steps, getting things cleaned up, but that's her, you guys. Now, this is where they screwed up on the P71 Crown Vic Interceptor, and I tell you, I miss my car. Don't get me wrong, I do. This was my baby, you guys. I really enjoyed it, but I had a lot of problems with the car. I paid over $1,200 for the car when I bought it. I fell in love with it when I first got it. It was like, I have to get my car. This is my dream car, and I kind of kicked myself in the butt getting rid of it, and I'll show you what I traded the car for, and it just, everything, you guys, turned out to be a big sore thumb, man. I'm not kidding. The windows, each window had double layers of window tint. So you can see on the back corner, on the far left, you can see that back corner window. Still needed one more layer, but all the windows had dual layers. Even the front window trim, I put double layer tint. The corner lights, I painted them, did a custom paint design myself, and I thought it looked really cool. The car looked pissed off from the front end. She looked really mean. It looked good, you guys. And again, this was a 2005 P1 Interceptor. She had the dual spotlights. I have more pictures somewhere else, you guys. I had to look for these photos, so I'm gonna bring some more photos that I can. But I wanted to talk about the P71. They are dang great vehicles, and boy, do they make a statement. Let me tell you, these cars, they are what people say they are. They're fantastic. I used to get a lot of compliments on my P71, and it just, when I bought the car, it had some issues, you guys, but it kept letting on to more problems and more problems. The whole engine bay wiring harness, this thing is massive. It just, people don't take care of their cars. You know, they get cars, they run them to the ground, beat the hell out of them, you know, and then it's like, up, I don't want it no more, I need a new car. And they end up beating the hell out of the other cars. And now, the P71 Crown Victorias, this car, for having right under 300,000 miles, you guys, when I got it, this car was in the best care it could ever be. And so over time, I started having issues, and one day it just wasn't running. Well, I found out all the wiring harness to the fuel injection was fried, and it ran so great when I went to go see it. AC blowing cold, everything worked on the car. And so I even had the spotlights. I wired up the spotlights. It was badass, the spotlights. I got them working. And so I ended up having to buy a whole complete brand new engine wiring harness for underneath the whole hood. Everything. The harness that plugs into the computer up there. If you look towards the driver fender well up there, you can see the computer sitting up on the top there, the little gray box. And the harness that plugs into there and plugs to everything into the engine, and it spread. It literally opened in like 3 different areas. The harness separated, and then it ran underneath behind the motor to the back into the transmission to control the transmission. And the cheapest wiring harness was $1,000. So I met a guy who does nothing but Crown Vics, you guys, and all he gets is p71s. And so I got lucky, got the harness for $100. I put the new wiring harness in, and bam, it was perfect. And then I started having front end issues. So this whole tire, you could probably kind of see where it's worn out on the side. Actually, you can see she's kind of worn out there. And my tire was getting eaten up real bad. And so I would put her up in the air. The whole front end was loose, you guys. It was ridiculous. And so, but I didn't care. I bought it the way it was. It just, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you guys. I only make so much money. And just bam, suddenly stuff just started occurring. And I don't drive all the time. And when I do, it just bam, this all. It was like it could be fine one day, and the next day, bam, it's like, what the heck? After that, the computer, I ended up having to get a computer for it, which I never did get for the car, even though it ran good. But because of the wiring issue, because of the lack of someone's care, the computer definitely took a little beating because of the wires were all melted together. It was crazy, you guys. I should have done a video on this. And so next thing you know, I had humming in the wheel hub on this passenger wheel. I took the whole assembly out. I repacked it with grease to get me by. And believe it or not, the wheel hub has a little electronic device in it. It's freaking stupid. This is what I'm getting into on these Crown Vics, you guys. I'm going to buy me another one. I'm buying me another Vic. If you guys were to see what I'm driving now, you'd be like, no way. You ditched the Vic and you're driving this. I'm driving a little Hyundai, you guys, but that damn car runs so good, let me tell you. And I don't like small cars, but it is a damn good running car, and I only paid $300 for the car, and she runs freaking super good, you guys. I just passed it emissions, and it just, I bring magic to my cars. What I see, I always look at an ugly car. When I look at an ugly car, it could be the hideous thing, and I just look at what it could look like. And I'm a great visionary, you guys, and I always do what I can with my budget to bring a car back to life. And so during the time of ownership of this p71, I did a lot of work, you guys, and I took a loss on it. I took a big hit. I put a brand new intake manifold on the top. The intake, believe it or not, as good as this car was running, it had a leak because it's a plastic intake manifold, which was the dumbest thing. Now, majority of the new cars you go buy, there's a crap load of plastic on them, and the reason why, because they're going cheap on cost, and it's just more for them to make money for you to bring your car into the shop and have them fix it. And if you're not mechanically inclined, let me tell you, you will be spending a good chunk out of your pocket. All my cars I work on myself. I've worked on a Chrysler Sebring. I own one of those. I got rid of it, and it's like, you know what? I did some review work on it. It was a 2000 JXI. I had to do the timing, and no experience. I never done timing on a JXI, and it wasn't as bad as what people were saying it was. It was, with my tools I have, you guys, I have a toolbox about as long as a standard keyboard and about maybe 6-7 inches deep, and that's it for tools. That's all I got. And then I finally got me my torque wrench bar, so I could get the specific exact torque settings that I want. And that's pretty much all I need. I can literally work on any car with the tools I got. So anyhow, beautiful cars, you guys. They're high maintenance. If you own a p71, it is a high maintenance car, at least the 2005 model. In 2005 was the first year they had a cableless gas pedal, which means there was no cable running from your pedal into the intake onto your throttle body. and which was creepy because there was times, because we have a lot of sensors out here in Arizona, and it's all over the states, but I guess it's to monitor certain vehicles. I don't know. But there were times when I would pass under these sensors, my pedal would literally go to the floor on the car. And I would hit the brake and my car's just like, and then finally the pedal will let off. I'm like, what the F? I'm like, you gotta be freaking serious. A couple times it's done this to me and it freaked me out. And when I did find out that, holy crap, I'm like, what the hell? I don't have a cable from my throttle body going to my gas pedal. I'm like, that's bull crap. I don't like that crap, you guys. I want to control my vehicle. I want to control it my own self. I don't need no damn computer controlling my vehicle at all whatsoever. My brake system, even though it had the booster and all that stuff, but it was still censored electronically. And just unbelievable. And then when I went to go pull the wheel hub out to fix the wheel hub to get me by, what happened was the whole sway bar system in front of the car, the whole front suspension basically needed replacing on the vehicle, you guys. And I couldn't put any of my family members in this car just because of safety reasons. Every time I would bolt everything back up, tighten everything up, everything would come back loose again. And it was really sad, you guys, because I loved my car so much. It took me years, and I mean years, to actually finally end up with one of my dream cars. And it is. My two dream cars is this and a Lamborghini Diablo. I'm dead serious. I'm not kidding. And till this day, I wish I could get another Crown Vic, you guys. I even tried to see if anybody would, if anyone was donating a p71 Crown Vic Interceptor to a good home, and it's hard to find those people, you guys. And I miss my car. I do. I really miss it a lot. I put a lot of time, a lot of work in it. I never got the little dent you see on the door there. That's the way I bought it. Never got to get that dent out. There's just some things I never finished on the car, and since I couldn't do the front end, I just couldn't afford it, and it was eating my tire up. The hub, I needed to put a new sway bar and just a few other things, you guys. If I had the money and I fixed the front end, this car would have been pristine. She would have been a cream puff, and she was already. With almost 300,000 miles, this car would freaking rip cars up on the road just like that. I'm not kidding. And I didn't always romp on my car. Once in a blue moon, because the city driving stuff builds up, I would take it out in the open and I would just get on it. I would just go in and get on her, open it up, and she loved it, you guys. She was like all for it because these cars are meant to be driven. And it got a lot of looks. There's a couple dudes that live around the corner from me, and they own P71s, and they're all beat the hell. They are. They're run down, but they run good. And it just, one day one dude saw me on the road, and he just like dropped his jaw, and I was bumping. I had 212s in the trunk, and it sounded freaking good. It just, like I said, you guys, this was my favorite car, and I hope I could get another one. I really miss my Crown Vic. And I even tinted my back taillights. I have a photo somewhere of it where I did the taillights on the car. The taillights were all blacked out. The car looks sick. It was one of the coolest Crown Vics in my area. And it just, after all these issues, 2005 is not a good year. Anything 2004 on down is good. This car, the only difference on the 05, I wouldn't mind having an 05 again, but I would ditch the electronic throttle body crap. I would just swap a lot of parts out because it's just a bunch of BS. They screwed the car up by putting more electronics onto the vehicle. And when I used to have my Lincoln Mark 8, I had a Lincoln Mark 8 in 96. It was the car was fully loaded. It had every option in there. It had the Cobra motor. And same with this. It's got the Cobra motor in it. Same motor. It just, back then, 96, they didn't have all this plastic crap on it, you guys. It just, they kind of ruined a great engine on these cars. They even used them in the F-150s and all that stuff They used them in the vans. This motor was majority, literally in every heavier vehicle that Ford made. But like I said, I let the car go, and I got out of it. So I ended up doing a trade, and here's what I traded it for. I know. Yes. So this is a 1992 Mercedes-Benz Sport. Great cars. Basically, the motor ended up being complete crap on this car. I had to pull the cylinder head off. Now, if you look out towards the garage, there's another Mercedes sitting out there. I traded it for 2 Mercedes-Benzes. And so I went from this, and I went to that. So something I want to share with you guys. You're probably thinking, what the hell was I thinking? I couldn't do it, you guys. The front end really needed some work on the car. I didn't have money for bushings. I couldn't do it, you guys, and needed some wheels really bad. And it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. And like I said, she had the dual spotlights. She was a fully loaded cop car. It didn't have the cage in the back, of course. I didn't want that. It had all the creature comforts of a luxury cruiser sedan, but it had all the performance. It had the Panther frame. It had the whole, she had it all, you guys. She had all the goodies and all the bells and whistles you would expect from a police car. It was bad, but ended up going to this. This here is a collector edition. After I detailed the interior was like brand new in this car, you guys. She was a freaking cream puff inside. The interior was like brand spanking new after I got done cleaning it. I ended up swapping out the front grille. There was some work. I started to detail the car and ended up blowing 2 of the things in through piston number 1. For some reason, something just wasn't right. I think it was low on compression when I first got the car because it wasn't staying running. It got real hot really fast, and I knew it was out of timing. And so it just basically shot 2 of the freaking valves right down into the front piston. It was it was done. It was a straight 4-cylinder. Both engines, both were Mercedes-Benz. This was a 190E, and then my other one sitting out there was a 190E, just a plain 190E Mercedes, gold, and the electrical wiring underneath the hood fried. And that was just a couple days after I got the car. Motor ran super good, and so after that, the car, I drove it home, barely made it home, and it was sitting in the driveway since. I didn't bother. So I let the car. I got $100 for that car. Had brand new tires on it. And this, I told myself I was going to get rid of it. And such a sweet car, you guys. It sat low. It's similar to like the AMG. It didn't have the AMG motor, and it didn't have the wider AMG body kit. And I had to pull the cylinder head off of this car. When I pulled the cylinder head off, I saw the 2 holes in the piston where the valves collided in. So after that, I was like, I don't have an engine hoist, but I had every tool in my little toolbox, like I said, to work on this car. And Mercedes-Benzes are difficult to work on, but after that, you guys, I was like, you know what, forget it. I was like, I don't have an engine hoist or none of this stuff, so I let that one go too. So I got $100 for the gold car, and I took a loss, and I got $75 for this car. And so talk about a deep loss. I know, you guys. It's probably like to go from this beautiful beast and to go to these cars, and they ended up being junk. I hate to say it. I couldn't do it. It was like, man, I got screwed. And so in worst case scenario, it was a bad move. But like I said, I had to replace the sway bar. I just replaced the bottom control arm on this car, and all the ball joints in the control arm, the upper A and lower arms, needed replaced, and even the A arms itself needed replacing on this car. The reason why, the housing was aluminum, And the ball joint, what happens over time, the ball joint eats up that metal housing and it loosens up. And so it was just, I tightened it, but it would just wear out even more. It was just worn out, you guys. It would just, those were never replaced at one time, and I didn't have the funds. So I had to sell this. And I have nothing bad to say on these Crown Vics, you guys, and I want to get another one so bad. If you guys only knew how bad I miss my car. Oh my god. It would have to be a p71 Interceptor too. I don't care if it's white or if my next one's black. But you guys, if you all knew how much I loved my p71, it's like, man, it just, money gets tight sometimes, you guys. And so I traded the car for 2 of those Mercedes Benzes, and both ended up being a piece of crap. And like I said, I would have fixed this car. I even ordered the head gasket parts. I even ordered other parts for this car. And finally, just like, wow, I got to pull the motor out. And I was going to pull the motor out of the gold one and put it in here. And it just didn't have an engine hoist, you guys. And I don't have an engine hoist till this day. And when you ain't got friends to help you out, then you're on your own. So just, I didn't have nobody. It's just me and my family. And there's only one family friend that I know that I've known for a few years now, and that's it. I have nobody else. I don't know nobody else. And they've been the only ones that have hung through from the day we met. And that's it. So, yes, you guys, I ended up trading my P71. I got rid of her. And gosh, let me tell you, between this mistake and my 96 Lincoln Mark 8, those were the 2 biggest F-ups of my life, and it haunts me till this day. I really screwed up. But the only thing I don't like about 2005 Crown Vics, you guys, fabulous cars. But in 2005, they added more electronics. They went with the cableless gas pedal. They added some electrical thing to the brake system. And what's even crazy, the damn wheel hubs even were hooked up to the computer system. I'm not kidding. When I pulled the wheel hub out, I'm like, what the hell is this plugged into the wheel hub's housing? And I'm looking, I followed the wire up the fender, down around. I was like, this plugs into my harness? I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, you mean to tell me I got electrical device in my wheel hubs too? Like, I guess it would tell you. So if that wheel hub went bad, it just messed with the car. It messed with the whole car. But I ended up buying a P71. And after the time I was done with the car, you guys, I was about over $2,500 into the car. That's paying $1,200 for the car plus the money I dumped into the car, and trading it for these 2. Big damn mistake. This car came home on a tow truck. My gold one that was sitting out here was driven home, but it needed work. It needed a complete new suspension. Every bump you hit was just like bam, bam. It hit so hard. But I don't know, you guys. If anybody ever was donating their Crown Victoria, I would love to take it. For example, Roman Artwood. God damn you. That pissed me off. It made me so mad. He had a complete cop car, and people wanting him to crush it. I don't blame him. I mean, you're doing it for the entertainment, Roman. You're doing it for the fun. Of course, I would have removed all the lights and crap on the car, but he had a P71. You guys, he ran the damn car over with a freaking. He had the car crushed, and I thought it was so messed up. It was really cool at the same time seeing the video. The video was super awesome, but at the same time, it's like, damn, you know. Someone like me could have used that car. You see what I'm saying? I mean, he's got a good life. I love my life, but I want to be on the higher up in those kind of shoes, you guys. Those are my dreams. I want to be very successful. I try every day. I'm trying. It's not easy when you're on your own, especially when you're limited on money and you don't know nobody. You're learning and doing on your own, and it is, you guys. It's not easy. But having all that kind of money I mean, I would have preferred to do a car that just doesn't run at all, period. That's just beat up. That Crown Vic, I could have made that car run, no questions asked. The car was perfectly straight, and the motor was clean. The car was cool, you guys, and man, he freaking crushed that car to nothing. It was a cool video, but again, it was jacked up. It's like, damn, it's like, dude, you could have donated that car to me. You could have gave me this car. Someone who would have appreciated. And but it's like, dang. So just something to throw out there too. A lot of people, I see these people kind of do things, and it's like, there's so many good people out there, and it's like, you know what? I know if that was me, I would have gave the car to somebody, you guys. That's just how I am. I'm just that kind of person. Like, if I had a lot of money, I would help people. It's like, even though you could be one of my viewers and I don't know you, but you're my subscriber. You're my friend still, you know? Just because you're my subscriber, you're not just a subscriber. You're a subscriber, but also my friend. And but I'm just one of those people. If I had the money, I would just go around and I would just help who I could. That's just how I am, you guys. But I thought it'd be cool to share this with you. And before and after, I know. So there it is, folks. Let me know what you think. But that's my point on the 05s. It just, anyone who owns an 05, if you haven't yet had a bunch of issues, you're gonna have them down the road. And if your car hasn't taken off and accelerated on its own, eventually it will, you guys. So the only thing they did justice on the 05 Vics was the frame. They put a beefier frame on the car. My car was it was 5,600 and some pounds. The car was freaking heavy. I'm not kidding. My car was heavier than my GMC truck. I had a 1589 GMC, and my car, that car weighed more than that GMC truck, you guys. This car was right under, it was right under 6,000 pounds or right at 6,000 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. It was damn heavy, and let me tell you, that car, it didn't drive like it weighed that much. That motor moved that car, and especially with right under 300,000 miles on it, that car would have went another 300,000 miles easily, just like that, especially being in my care. But like I said, those kind of situations, you guys, with the suspension and stuff, it just, all those things came up. So pretty crazy. And that was that. And then I ditched these cars after I took that one for 75, got rid of that one for the 100, and saved up the money. And now I'm driving my Hyundai Elantra. And you know what? Let me tell you guys, I got before photos, and I'm going to be taking out the photos. I'm in the middle of primering the car right now, getting rid of this ugly red. And I put some Enkais on it. It's looking good. It's looking good. I got the Enkai 17s on a great budget deal, thanks to the guy that hooked me up. Really smoking deal on the Enkais. Up. There's my boy. He's like, that's some good food. Nom, nom, nom. So there it is, folks. A quick little story on that. So after these cars, and then I ended up with a little Hyundai Elantra. Little 5-speed, but great damn car, let me tell you. Already roasted a Silica GT, and the guy was embarrassed because he had his girlfriend in the car. That was the first time. I just wanted to see what the car had in it. And it roasted a Silica GT, you guys. So, and this thing was hideous looking. So now I just cruise her. That's just my baby, because I know what she's got in it, and it just shows, man, that's one healthy damn motor, and that's my good project. So very dependable car, very dependable. I love the gas mileage. I don't miss the gas mileage in the Vic, because that car, she could drink fuel, but you know, that's almost 6,000 pounds of freaking material that 4.6 was moving. And like I said, it was a high maintenance vehicle. But I'm gonna get me another one, you guys, down the road. I am. That's like I said, that's my dream car, always will be, and I'm gonna get another one. So hopefully things get right, you guys, and I could get me another P71. I'd be so happy to get another one. So that is it. Say bye to my pal, and you guys, much love. I hope you enjoyed. And again, those are the top couple things that are the worst of the '05 Crown Victorias. Even on the civilian models, same thing. They got that wireless gas pedal crap, and I just don't like it. So, much love. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to thumbs up and share. Let me know what you guys think on that decision. Do you think that was pretty messed up? Do you think that was jacked up to go from this and then, even though with not having the money to fix what had to be fixed, and then turn around, take a loss, and then trade for 2 of these? I know. So, peace out, people.